What is up, everyone? My name is Tiki, aka Salar, and I just wanted to welcome you guys back to a brand new trading video. I know it has been a very long time, around 6 to 8 months, that I haven't uploaded a video, especially for trading. There's just been a lot of time consumed by school, and I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I started this trading series, I fell into a really big trading hole, and that involved one particular hat that I will get into in a bit, but it kind of stalled my trading motivation and my trading progress. I just didn't know where to go on from there. I was really just backed up and in a really bad spot, but now that you guys are watching this video, it has to mean one thing, and I am back into trading, and this is a very exciting video for me to make because I made a lot of progress, and I did end up digging myself out of that trading hole, and I'm gonna get right into that. But first I wanted to just do a little recap. I don't know if you guys remember, I did purchase a Scorching Flames deep cover operator for the sniper and the spy, and I did buy this hat for about I think it was 101 keys, 2 strange shotguns, and 2 battalion backups, which is equivalent to around 104.16 keys. I am a trader that does like to value items very carefully and very accordingly to like backpack.tf and maybe buy orders, so you're gonna definitely see that in this trading series. I actually did end up selling the deep cover operator for 108 keys pure, and it was definitely a very satisfying start to this series. I made about 3.8 keys profit, so profit's profit. Even a key is always something to keep going up and keep going up in motivation for trading, so it was just a really good start overall. As you guys see over here in my backpack, I just wanted to sort out the keys in 3 separate pages, and just wanted to give a nice easy visualization for you guys. I ended up purchasing a Green Energy Law, which is an all-class hat, gorgeous hat, for about 105 keys. So I had like 3 keys left over in my backpack. I ended up selling the Green Energy Law like I think in the same day for a mix of items, but just as I mentioned that I fell into that hole of trading, I got stuck. It kind of began with this hat, but it wasn't even this ugly yet. I ended up selling all of those unusuals and miscs and those taunts for literally the exact same amount that I bought the Green Energy for. Maybe even just a tiny bit more or a tiny bit less, but nonetheless, it was a bad trade, a dud trade. It did take me a while to sell those hats and those miscs, and I kind of just wasted my time. And I was a little bit disappointed, but I was like, it could have been worse. And that takes me to my next trade, which was a trade that I will probably remember, but I regret, and I did learn from it, which I will get into later this video. But let's talk about this really bad trade. Little did I know that this next trade I was about to make was gonna set me back for a long time. This is a Purple Energy Danger that I bought for the engineer, and I bought it for a lot more than I should have. First of all, I got it for around 95 keys pure, and at the time, believe it or not, the buy orders were really nice for it. It was like 90 keys, and I was confident enough that I could sell the hat for maybe 100. But as soon as I got that hat, the buy orders just plummeted. into the ground. They went to 20 keys, 40 keys, and it was just miserable. I wasn't panicked. I was like talking to the guy that I traded with. He did say that buy orders were at 9,500 keys. The Tf2 economy kind of just tanked for a little bit, and he said that just give it some time and it'll be back to normal. But it wasn't a little bit amount of time, and the hat did not even raise in buy orders nearly for what I bought it for. So long story short, I held on to this hat for around 6 months, and every single day I would just like wait for buy orders to like go up slightly, and they were raising. They went up to like 60 keys, 70 keys. I was getting hope that they were rising once again, but I kind of just lost all hope. I was in this like state that I knew that I could never sell this hat for profit. I have to take a loss, and it took me a while to realize that until this April. I just couldn't accept a loss this early into the trading series, even though even if I sell the hat, I would still have a good amount of keys to work with in the series. But it was just a very uncomfortable situation, and a situation that I really hope I never get into ever again. In April of this year, I started to get motivated into trading again. I just wanted to work with maybe some of the keys that I had on the side. I think I had about like 17 keys aside after buying the Danger. So I used keys on the side to trade for a small hat, which was a Aces High Infernal Impaler for the Soldier. I got it for about 12 keys, 15 refined, and I was able to sell it for just like a tiny bit, like 12.3 keys, which is like 30 refined. So I just kind of wanted to improve my confidence again. I was like, I want to get back into trading. I want to get out of this hat. I'm just gonna put my foot down, and I'm gonna try to find somebody who's gonna buy this Danger, and even if I'm gonna take a loss, I just really want to get out of this hole. The next trade you see here is a smoking Wraith Wrap that I got. I got it for 17 keys, ended up selling it for like 17 keys, 43 refined, which is basically 17.5 keys or half a key profit. I was just going up bits by bits while also looking to sell the Danger. Alright guys, so this next trade was basically the end of this long, miserable drought of holding on to the Purple Energy Danger. I ran into a really cool trader on the Firepower trading server. This guy's name was like Mitep. Shout out to him if you're watching this video. I really appreciate you, man. This trade that I made, I ended up negotiating 15 keys on top of this one really cool misc, which is called Hypnoize, which is all class, a really cool like swiveling, like literally Hypnoize, and it's like valued at 14 keys plus a I think it was a Dead President's Pirate Bandana for the Demo Man, which I valued at 10 keys. And on top of that, the hat that kind of just had my eyes on it, it was a Purple Energy Murderer's Motive for the Spy. And I was fortunate enough to, end up selling that hat for 49 keys. Basically, I traded everything for the values that I just listed. So 15 keys plus 14 keys plus 10 keys plus 49 keys. Basically, I lost 7 keys if we're going back to how many keys I started with before the Danger. I lost around 7 keys, but it was worth it. I technically only lose 2 keys since the start of the trading series, because I did make like 3.5 to 4 keys on the Scorching deep cover. So I was just really glad to be back in business, with pure keys. Who doesn't love pure keys? just sitting in your backpack, your inventory. I was able to just sort it out, and it was just a big sigh of relief, after a very long, miserable time waiting for the purple energy danger to just leave my backpack, finding the right person to trade with. It was just a big moment of rejuvenation for me. About a week later, I ended up buying a Sunbeam's Desert Marauder for the sniper, which is a god tier, gorgeous sniper hat that I think a lot of people just love. And I got it because it did recently go up in price, according to backpack.tf. The hat wasn't too hard to sell. I bought it for 105 keys. I basically had 0 keys left in my backpack, but I was not worried. I just had a feeling that this hat, being a god tier, Gen 1 unusual effect on an amazing sniper hat, one of my favorite hats in the game, it was just not too hard to sell. But I did run into someone who had a really interesting offer. He was offering a Haunted Ghosts Cold Killer for the sniper, which is a very desirable sniper hat, and a woolen warmer, which is also Haunted Ghosts, and it is an all-class hat. The offer consisted of me exchanging my Marauder along with a suite, and this suite happened to be a noble nickel amassment of hats for all classes. I was actually fortunate enough to unbox that unusual. It happens to be my second ever unusual unbox. It was a little bit tough to say goodbye to that hat, but it was a very common unusual unbox, and I wasn't getting rid of my green confetti federal case maker, which is my first ever unusual unbox, but that's not going anywhere, so that's the good news. I ended up basically giving 113 keys for 111 keys, but those 111 keys I valued at buy orders for the woolen warmer and the cold killer. For 2 hats that I valued at buy orders, I think it's a really good deal because it had so much potential to sell either one of those hats for a lot more than I bought them for. And finally, here it is, guys, the trade that kind of just boosted my confidence once again in trading and my motivation. Basically the best trade so far in this series, the highlight of this video. I was fortunate enough to find somebody who was gonna give me 123 keys for both the Haunted Ghosts hats that I traded for the Cold Killer and the Woolen Warmer, and it was a really good deal. I thought that I could get a little more, but I was like, this is basically 10 keys profit. 123 keys, getting rid of 8 keys if we don't count the Noble Nickel. It's basically 115 keys, and going from 105 keys for the Marauder to you can say 115 keys, it's just a really great deal, a very great deal. And we ended up making the deal happen, and I made basically 10 keys profit from this trade. It's just a really significant trade for me. Even when I mentioned before, 1 key is great, 2 keys are great, but 10 keys for a single trade is just outstanding, and it's definitely the highlight of this trading series so far. It took long enough, but we finally made up for that big mistake of getting the purple energy danger and the green energy law and being stuck on so many hats. It was just finally a big break for me. If we look at it from a different perspective, not counting the suites that I've added in the series thus far, I have basically went from 101 keys to 111 keys. It's basically 10 keys profit in 10 trades, but it took me 6 months, and that's the only negative factor of this. But so many valuable lessons learned. I've met a lot of people who gave me really good advice, like trading for all class hats and look more for all class hats and not putting all your eggs in one basket, because there are a bunch of risks. but nonetheless, I'm really glad to be back, and there's even some more trades that I'll be discussing. The next trade, I bought a Green Energy Tundra Top for 91 keys, and it's just a simple trade. I sold it a week later for 92 keys, basically 1 key profit. I was then sitting at 124 keys. The next trade was a Fragmented Quarks Citizen Kane. It is also an all-class hat that I bought for 39 keys. It was a really great deal because it was literally half a key above buy orders, and the sell orders were a little bit close, like around 45, which would be the next seller. I thought I could get maybe at least like a key or two out of this. It's just a really quick peer that I can get, and I did end up selling it a couple days later for 40 keys, so another 1 key profit, which is still amazing. After sitting at 125 keys, the final trade that I made was for a Scorching Ground Control, which I got for 112 keys. It's a great soldier hat, and you guys can take a look over here. And finally, to put an end to this video, which was a long time in the making, we sold the ground control for 115 keys, basically 3 keys profit. And that's basically it for the video, guys. So many lessons learned, so many trades that I've made. Finally dug myself out of that hole, but we're sitting at 128 keys pure right now. So we made around 15 keys profit from all of these trades. It's about 13 trades in a span of like 6 months, but again, really happy to be out of that hole. And here's my backpack at the end of this video. Just sorting some of the keys around to be more appealing visually. Alright guys, that's gonna be all for this video. I just wanted to say thank you everyone for tuning in and tuning back in after a very long 6 to 7 months. I do apologize for this big drought of this trading series, but I'm so glad to be back. Can't wait to make the next video, make more trades, and go up from here. So thank you guys so much. Please subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.